Hello everyone, my name is Jamie from All Movies Fresh. Before you go check out this video, go smash the like and subscribe button down below. Today we're joined by a special guest, Steve Villegas from On My Block. How are you doing today, Steve?
Good, right here. Just getting ready to see what's up.
Yeah, awesome. So first off, congratulations for a wonderful four series of On My Block. Was it sad to see the end of it?
It was
Yeah,
pretty much all the seasons were pretty sad because they leave you with the cliffhanger, and then you're
yeah,
just like wondering what's next, and then but it always has like a little sad part to it, and then people
yeah.
are just expecting like, let's see what's next and see what happens, you know. But yeah, no, it was a beautiful experience. Just can't wait to see what happens in the future.
Yeah, because I know. I mean, when you first started off in season one to
Right.
season four, many actors and actresses, were limited in their screen role. But then, through each season, when the writers were handing you the script, were you felt like more appreciated and valued because your screen time sort of increased, especially towards the last season as well?
Oh yes, most definitely. No, yeah, because I remember the first season. I was the opening scene to it. A lot of people probably don't know or
Yeah,
recognize me from it because it was like kind of quick towards the end, and then I have my scene with one of the characters, Ruby.
yeah,
When I come over the wall and I choke him out a little bit, and then from there, I think I had one more scene, and then after that, that's it, you know. And then I came back on the second season, like a little cameo type of
yeah,
thing, and then didn't come back to the third season, which that's where they started giving me more episodes, more lines, more connections with the actual main characters,
yeah.
which I became real close to with season three. And then from there they gave me just more on season four, since we had that relationship towards each other, I mean with each other, you know.
Do you from this, do you feel like this is sort of the starting base and going upwards like to bigger shows and bigger movies and stuff?
Um, I would think so, but due to the fact that there's social media around now, and it's kind of hard to kind of like just go with that, and kind of that's pretty much like a competitive thing, because now
Yeah,
anybody can make a video and go viral, and then they're just there, you know. But I would say yes. Aside from that, I also had other shows before that, but On My
yeah,
Block has been like the biggest one, the one
yeah.
that kind of just pretty much got me out there with the younger crowd, the younger adults, you know. I would say On My Block is the one that kind of got me there. And then from that's where I'm being recognized for, what I put out. And then now they're just giving me scripts for other stuff, and go from there, you know?
That's amazing.
Uh,
So you play a role as a gangster in
yeah.
On My Block, but also in similar to other TV series and well, like like SWAT and all other shows as well. But did you have to adapt your role differently to the other shows and On My Block?
Yes, a slight difference.
Yeah,
On My Block was more like a teenage, era.
yeah,
So my way of probably presenting myself will be more like just a very slight difference, especially the way I'm dressed.
yeah,
I'm just more like, if you piss me off, then this is what you'll get from me, you know.
yeah,
But I'm more of a loyal kind of friend on
yeah,
my block. Aside from On My Block and SWAT, they have me more like a more mature, like gangster, like, and not so much of a gangster, but I just have control over my neighborhood. Like, I don't have no tattoos on SWAT. It's just
yeah,
me dressed in a flannel, but I have control over the neighborhood. And on SWAT, I'm like the lead gangster around my neighborhood. So anytime there's a problem or an issue, they come to me. I'm delivering my lines on SWAT. Sorry. It's more straightforward. It's just I'm dealing with grown-ups now.
yeah.
Aside from On My Block, I'm dealing with a younger crowd, like kids, and they're younger crowds. And then but yeah, no, it's just very slightly different. Even the wording, the slang is a
Yeah.
little different, but it's pretty much the same thing. It's just, I would say, like on SWAT, I'm a little bit more mature, you
Yeah.
know, and On My Block is still like I'm in the stomping grounds of the younger kids, you know.
Would you would you say like because On My Block is probably the first series on Netflix where it talk well, brings in a lot more Latino and Latina actors and actresses. Would you say this is sort of the gateway for more and more young actors and actresses from the Latin American background to come in towards acting?
Oh yes, most definitely. I mean, a lot of us, well, actually most of us came in from, this is like our first, a regular series on Netflix or just a show, period. We didn't really have someone that was big for us to promote the show. It kind of just, it became what it became with just the talent of the younger crowd of just newcomers, new actors, new actresses. Same thing with the Latino actors, Latino actresses. They got main roles. I was kind of in that boat too, where they kind of put me up there more.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's definitely an opportunity for a lot of us, for the Latino, for any race, pretty much, because that's one of the shows that pretty much has all the races in the show, which is pretty good because everybody else could relate to it. Aside from high school problems, they have family problems, they have gangster problems, they have friendship problems. They threw everything out there, and I feel like a lot of families could relate to that show.
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's most definitely opportunities for a lot of Latinos too.
Yeah, because I mean, just looking on Twitter from on my blog, a comedy aside, it did talk about, like you exactly said, how diversified it is and what each culture struggles with in
Right.
America. From a person coming from the UK background and watching
Mm,
it inside America, we saw like everything happen in 2020, but also how everyone struggles in there and everyone has their own problems and how people can relate to it. So
yeah.
it's a good show, that very good show that it's dealt with that. So say for example, if you wanted to play a different role in a show, how would you show towards directors and producers that you want to try out a different role?
Um, it's pretty much just when they throw auditions at you, you just kind of like do your best at it. But I also have my own production team where we
Yeah,
create our own storylines.
yeah,
So I just did one about a year ago. It got picked up for a film festival, and I play a cop, a sheriff officer, and I have it, all the gear and everything like that. So I play the lead role on that.
yeah,
Um, and just pretty much to get the feel for that, I just pretty much study what's on the street. That's pretty much how I get my whole acting experience, my whole acting knowledge. I just pay attention to the way people act out in the street, and I kind of just implement that when I come into film. And I didn't audition for the cop role because it's my project and my team's project.
yeah,
And yeah, just dressing me up the part as a sheriff, and just the body language, the way they speak. I watch a lot of movies too. Watching a
yeah.
lot of movies is actually one of my main sources of kind of just getting my knowledge from there. But no, I mean, that sometimes you just gotta do it yourself, because a lot of times you feel like you could play the role of any other character, but they're not gonna see it unless you just do something for yourself too. And sometimes you just gotta make the projects on your own with your team, and just put it out there.
Because I mean, because you started, well, you've gone into the production side as well, producing the In Broad Daylight as well.
Yes.
Um, was there sort of a message that you wanted to send across with this movie?
Yeah, yeah, that I could play other roles as well,
Yeah,
because I know they always kind of just get me as a criminal
yeah,
gangster. Like I could play that all day, every day. It's no
yeah,
problem. I would think they would assume that it'd probably be a difficult role for me to play an officer.
yeah,
Um, but again, that's something that I will have to prove to myself, for them to see, and that's why I put that together in broad daylight. For them to, I mean, so I could add it in my reel, and then just for them to see it.
yeah. Is production sort of more you want to pursue, or do you want to keep that balance between production and acting?
Um, Along the way, I started getting into like the production side, like
Yeah,
writing and directing. Like it just kind of catches your attention as you go. I started off acting, but then you start paying attention to like little storylines here and there, and then you kind of start, brainstorming in your own little mind, like, oh man, I could have done this, or I would have done this. So then you start creating your own little stories within yourself.
Yeah.
you start writing it down, and it becomes very interesting. So that's probably like the next step, you know. Once I feel like I got the acting part there already, I
Yeah.
still need a lot, but I feel like I'm good enough to where I could start trying to like write now and direct and go on that route, you know. But yeah, I mean, sometimes I mean, I just you just want to do everything sometimes, you know, but you just gotta
Yeah.
focus on one thing. So
Yeah.
acting is like my main source, and then good thing I have, you know, help for the production side and everything like that if I need guidance for it, you know.
Is there any sort of director that you aspire to have some sort of similar characteristics to and go on to create films similar to them?
Um, yeah, there is. There's a couple of them. There's one, Michael Bay. I like Michael Bay film. I've also worked with David Ayer. He's the one who wrote, I believe, Training Day,
Yeah.
and also wrote Fast and the Furious. So I like his films because they're more like real life situations, real life matters, and it's just like it's rough and it's real stuff on the street, and I like stuff like that, you know, where it's like real, like
Yeah.
true stories based on true stories, like just real things, you know. So yeah, Michael Bay, David Ayer. Since I worked with him already, I see how the way he works. I would like to work on a bigger project with him.
Is there any challenges you would say that comes along with acting? Because we, from a viewer's side, we see, looks amazing, everything, this and that. But what's the difficulties of being an actor?
The difficulties of being an actor is I would I would just say if you gotta be going through auditions, that's the hard part to get through. You
Yeah.
know, other than that, if since now that I have all my block and all this stuff, I get more like offers
Yeah.
now. So I don't really have to worry too much about auditioning. But in the process of starting off, the challenges of that will be like auditioning and like really just putting yourself out there, because again, you're also going against people that are on social media who have a high following, who will be considered to be on a film because of their following, aside from someone that's been putting in work and going to acting class, and but then their following is low, and you know what I mean, like they're putting in the work, but then you get a somebody that has a high following, you know, to be part of a film, and they've never done acting in their life. And it's just like they get the opportunity because of the numbers. So I get the business side of it, but that's one of the challenges now in this
Yeah.
generation now, where that's the challenge, you know, that I at least I have to deal with and go through. But aside from that and acting, no, I don't think I've had any other challenges but that, you know, just the auditioning part and you know social media and all that stuff. Because I know I could put in the work. I know
Yeah.
I could put in the work, you know. But it's just you gotta just put yourself out there somehow, some way where they could believe in you. They believe in you. You create relationships. You build relationships, and from there you don't even have to audition sometimes no more because they already know that you could pull it off. You know.
You actually were nominated for Slipping into the Darkness, but
Oh
then
yes.
in 2020 you actually won the Best Actor award for Focus at the Focus International Film Festival. Was that sort of like a sigh of relief and a joy because you've won this award from your hard work?
Yes, it was. It definitely was. Also because you always want to prove something to yourself, you know, like
Yeah.
people always say that you're in competition within yourself. So I came into this industry again, not knowing if I'm gonna be doing good or if I'm gonna look real or if I look like I'm actually acting or whatever it is. So I think I proved myself, and winning the awards as well. It kind of helped me to kind of just keep in mind, like, okay, just keep doing what you're doing. Um, you're not doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything like just keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, it's also motivated me, and it's one step further for me that I accomplished, and I was like, okay, cool. So yeah, that does keep me going, you know, stuff like that. Even the films that I've produced and helped direct, you know, it's just I'm proving it to myself, you know.
Sure. So one last question.
Oh,
What actors, what advice would you give actors and actresses who want to go in the movie and TV industry?
um, advice to that, I would just say don't give up on yourself. Just like you know, if you believe in yourself, even though you hear things that you probably won't be able to make it. Like for instance, me, like I didn't grow up with my family wanting to put me in acting. If anything, they thought I couldn't pull it off, and I've heard it from them as a younger adult. And I was like, then it kind of puts you down, but at the
Mm.
same time, it kind of motivates you to prove them wrong, you know?
Yeah.
So I would just say, don't give up, believe in yourself, no matter what people say. I mean, just go for it. Of course, understand what you're doing. Don't, because you don't want to come into the acting and then kind of like overact, and then that's just going to be your the first impression, and people are going to see like, oh, this guy doesn't know how to do it, whatever. So just make sure you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and if you're not, or if you feel like you're not doing it right, just that's where the acting classes come into play, and just continue pushing forward. And again, social media is also, again, that's part of the good thing of it, where you could just record your own stuff, you know,
Yeah.
maybe your own skit, or if you want to be a comedian, you go for that. If you want to be a fitness model, you go for that, lift weights and use social media to get yourself out there. You know, it's
Mhm.
so many opportunities nowadays.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Steve, for joining me today. And I wish you best of luck for the rest of your career. And again, congratulations on my block. Thank you very
Thank,
much.
oh,
Thank
thank you,
you.
thank you. You'll be seeing me. Take care.
Thank you. You too.